Alrighty, so let's talk about the auto industry financial ratio analysis project. So this is going to be one of two projects that we complete throughout the semester. So I'm going to navigate to the modules page, and the information for this project is going to be down here at the bottom of Canvas, our modules page. For this one, the auto industry, it's actually identified. We have this as project number 2. It kind of directly ties into chapter 13, which we cover at the very end of the class. So it's pushed down as project number 2, and it's got a final deadline of the final exam day. So not something you're going to need to worry about too much here early on in the semester, but you know, keep it in mind as we move forward. So this project here, you'll click into the link, and that will take you to the page here that has resources, and you will also upload your finished uh, KPI spreadsheet directly to this location as well. There's not a separate uploads module like there is for the chapters for these projects necessarily. So just keep that in mind. So essentially, what this project is going to entail is comparing the income statements and balance sheets for GM, General Motors, Ford, and Tesla, three different car companies here. And in chapter 13, we're going to talk about financial ratios and analysis. And this is similar to what we do in financial accounting. So it's a little bit just of a refresh of that, but it really does overlap with managerial accounting as well when we're talking about budgeting and performance evaluation of the company, et cetera. Um, these kind of ratios, and I've identified them specifically as key performance indicators, KPIs. You'll hear that often in the real world. These kind of metrics, these KPIs, are often used as the key metrics that the company is going to look at to identify trends, whether the company is on track, or if it's failing to meet its goals, etc. And so this project is basically going to have you prepare kind of an analysis, KPI analysis template, something similar to that I saw in practice as a CFO and working with various companies. Um, something similar to this is kind of what is actually used out in the real world a lot of times. So hopefully you'll find some value in this project. You'll find it interesting, and my goal is to show you kind of some real world type stuff that you might end up doing in your career in the future. As a new staff accountant, you might be helping to prepare these types of monthly KPI dashboards. Probably a pretty common task that you might do within the first 3 years or so of your professional career, and maybe preparing those for the controller or the CFO, etc. So um, I've got a video that guides you through the project. I've got the income statements and balance sheets, available here to download. I just basically took some excerpts from the big long annual report. We don't need the whole 150-page annual report, financial statements, etc. We really just wanted a couple key pages, so I brought those out with the income statement and balance sheet here. And you can follow along in the video as well. So this is here for you. And then the Excel template you download here, and you'll work through that. Basically in the project, you'll see it as you go through, but you're going to be using those income statements, balance sheets to prepare a number of different ratios. And then we're going to aggregate all that data onto one comparison dashboard. And we're going to use color coding to identify whether each of these three companies for those given metrics are um, kind of failing to meet what the standard is for the industry, the benchmark, whether they're on par with that, relatively close to what the standard is, or whether they are exceeding that. So, yeah, so that's the overall part of the project, how this project is basically laid out. Again, it really ties into kind of chapter 13. It's really sort of a wrap up of the entire class, too. We're not going to, this doesn't touch on things like cost accounting or some of the topics we're going to touch on early in the class, but it's a very applicable for, especially for Chapter 13. And just, like I said, in the real world, these are the kind of things that CFOs and decision makers on the, and not just in the finance department. This is where accounting and finance really does their work to produce these kind of dashboards. And in the real world, these dashboards are then taken to the CEO and the board of directors, et cetera, so that all of the higher up C-suite, executive team that is kind of overseeing the company and the direction and the goals, they're going to use these as a um, as a dashboard, towards whether to understand whether the company overall is on track to meet its goals. So it starts with the finance department, the accounting department, but these kind of reports are some of the most key um, deliverables that a lot of times in different companies are provided to the entire management team, the executive management team, and the board of trustees, etc. So, very real world. Hopefully, you find it interesting. Again, you probably learned some new Excel tips and tricks in this one, um, color coding and things like that. So, hopefully, you like the project, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, thanks everyone.